Hello and welcome. My name is Tom Shima. Over the course of 2026, I'm playing the game Persona 3 Reload. Only I'm trying something a little different. I'm going to match the pace of the game. That's right, I'm playing this game one real day at a time. Please enjoy this different take on the game in a series I'm calling Persona a Day. Hello and welcome. Thank you all so much for being here today. Coming in, grab a snack, grab something to drink, take a seat, and let's have some fun today. I am Tom Shima, and I'm going to be continuing playing through Persona 3 Reload in the series I'm calling Persona a Day. That's where we've been playing the game one real day at a time, as we line up the real calendar with the in-game calendar. It's been fun to kind of have that different perspective on things and take the game a bit more slowly and to kind of let it sink in and just hit us a little differently that way. So let's get right into things today. I kind of have a structure the way I like to do things. I like to start out by talking about what we did yesterday. Then we'll kind of, once we're all caught up and on the same page, we'll move into experiencing what we have going on today. After that, we'll regroup back here to talk about, how the day went. And then from there, we'll see where the rest of the stream takes us. So like I said, today is Tuesday, April 28th. If I didn't say that, I'm saying it now. So let's take a look back at yesterday, Monday, April 27th, and see what we did there. It was the start of a new week. We went to school, as we have been doing. And early on in the day, we heard there was going to be a surprise assembly. The principal wanted to talk to everyone. And so we all just kind of headed to whatever auditorium type, presentation place that was. And the principal started in on his speech. And a lot of us there kind of noticed there were quite a few similarities to the topics that Mitsuru talked about when she was introducing herself and her role as the student council president. And there was kind of some of that talk that maybe the principal felt like, he wanted to compete with her and, establish himself as a good speaker as well. And I remember being in the moment thinking he was talking about a lot of, worthwhile things. He was talking about our role as students and taking responsibility and a lot of the same topics that Mitsuru talked about, but if they were true when Mitsuru said them, it was just as true when the principal said them. So it's always kind of nice to just have that refresher and have something else different going on at schools. I never really minded that when I was in school. But anyway, that was how we spent the school morning side of things. And as we got over to the lunch hour, Mitsuru stopped by our classroom, and she said she had a task for us. And she didn't really elaborate other than it was something she wanted to ask us that she thought we would be a good fit for. And she said that she would let us know after school. So we kind of just had that to think about as we moved into the afternoon side of things. We had a math lesson that afternoon, and Junpei got called on to answer a question, and he in turn kind of shared that question with me to see if I could help him out. It dealt with algebraic spirals, and we were given a choice of 4 different spirals and asked to pick which one wasn't the algebraic spiral. I tried to reason out my thoughts on what I saw there, and it didn't quite work out. I didn't pick correctly. So it kind of, furthered into the math lesson. We kind of got to talk about what the 4 different spirals actually signified. I feel like I learned something, whether or not I actually did. I do feel like it felt more like a school lesson. I wasn't going through and, following the guides and knowing that, this is the correct answer, this is how I should answer. I'm trying to take this as authentically as I can, and that's going to mean not always getting the questions right. But it made it feel more real to me. So in a way, I almost felt kind of good getting it wrong because it proves that commitment to being in the school, if that makes any sense. I hope it does. After class, after we licked our wounds and not being that great at math, Mitsuru came back to reveal what she talked about at lunch. She would like some help on the student council. She's the student council president, so she's got that role going on top of all the other things she does. And she just thought that we would be a good fit to help her out with some stuff. And obviously, that wasn't really on our cards for anything we thought we were going to see or hear talk about that day. So we were a little caught off guard on that, had some questions. What sort of responsibilities and expectations would there be? What kind of commitment would there be? But there was also the thought that Mitsuru wouldn't ask us to do something that she didn't think we were qualified for. And she just wanted to kind of reach out and see about getting our help on some stuff. And she also kind of revealed that she had a good feeling that we were going to accept since she already had the paperwork all lined up for it. All we needed to do was sign our name, basically. So after that, before I headed down to the faculty office to officially sign up, I decided to head out and take a short walk after school before rallying back there. just to see the usual sights. We stopped by the station to check on the cat we've been talking to every couple of days. Just always nice to see it still doing good. We stopped by the Polonia Mall since Officer Kurosawa was having a sale. We weren't really in the market for anything, but it was just one more sight to see along the way. So after that, we worked our way back to school and stopped by the faculty office. And we found Miss Toriumi there. She already had the paperwork, of course, and said we just needed to sign it. And she seemed excited for us. She was encouraged that we were joining the student council, and she wished us luck on that. So that was kind of nice to have that positive teacher influence on us there. So we made our way back upstairs then to the student council room. And that is where Mitsuru was, of course, waiting, but the other members were also there to be introduced. We had Odagiri. He's the head of the disciplinary committee. He seemed like a very no-nonsense kind of guy. He made the comment kind of wondering, why a new student like me ended up the personal recommendation of the student council president to be on the student council. I didn't have a lot of words for that either, but we're trusting Mitsuru. And either way, he kind of reasoned the same thing. It's like, it doesn't really matter why I'm here, as long as I'm here to work hard for the good of the council. We also met Chihiro. She's a first-year student. She's the treasurer, and she seemed... I said it before, I said it yesterday, that I felt that connection there because she had that same kind of anxious, timid nature that that I'm trying to work on myself. But she's also... It was that student that stepped up to this role despite having that nature. So it's kind of that example of even when things aren't necessarily in your current skill set, you can get there. So I was able to walk away with, a nice introduction and kind of a lesson to kick around in my head with. But just meeting all of them and seeing the group, Mitsuru also kind of explained she doesn't want me specifically to fill a set role. More so she wants me to assist wherever the help is needed. So I'm not sure whether that's going to be helping Odagiri or Chihiro or herself with anything. But we're kind of left to some of our own devices as well. We don't have a mandatory hard schedule of when we need to be at every council meeting or daily, regular, weekly expectations for anything. So we still have some of that freedom alongside the responsibility. So I think it's a good balance, and I appreciate that, being trusted to us. And in meeting everybody and figuring out our responsibilities, that unlocked the Emperor social link with the student council. So that's one more social link to help us when we're fusing personas, as well as one more out of Tartarus place to look to spend our time and to get closer to other people. So that was a productive side to our afternoon. With that, we returned to the dorm. As I like to do, I talked with everybody there, see what they were up to. Always nice to see that they're doing their own thing. They're not just sitting there waiting like a video game character. It feels like they've got a life that they're living, whether I'm there or not. And since they all seem to be up to their own things, I decided to, just like we've been doing, taking it easy in the evening. We didn't really need to go to Tartarus because we're still on pace with everybody else there. And we reached a barrier floor, so we can't advance any further anyway. And so I decided to once again take a walk in the evening and just see things. We had heard something on Sunday and then a text message again yesterday reminding us that Chagall Cafe was looking for some part-time work. And Monday was the first night we could do that. And I reasoned that would be a potentially good way to spend our time. It, from a student, I could see it's wanting to just, be done with our school day and do something more fun, like stop at the arcade or, get something to eat. But there's the responsibility side of this as well that can't really be understated. Actually working for our own wage was encouraging. I mean, it kind of gives you that feeling of freedom as a student that I worked for this, I'm supporting myself on this, and there's that level of pride there. While we were there, other employees were impressed by the work we did. We were told we had to deal with a drunk customer, and we were able to handle that professionally. So we received 2,500 yen as our wage for the day. We were also given one of the pheromone coffees they sell, which boosted our charm and our courage. Both of which we'll need help in everything, but it was nice to get a little bit of a boost there. Specifically the courage, since we've got a nearby club that we've been hoping to get into that we need a little more courage for. So I feel like I kind of came away from that like we checked a lot of boxes. We accomplished a lot of things in one evening activity. It's going to be another one of those things to just keep in mind as we're looking for something to do in the evening as a productive and positive thing to do. So after working part-time, that was all the time our day really had to it, so we returned back to the dorm. No Tartarus trip, so no dark hour last night. we made it an early night to get ready to keep the week going into Tuesday. So on all those notes, that catches us up to today. Let's get into Tuesday, April 28th and see where it takes us. I'll kick us over to the game and be right there. Okay, so this is where we left off last night. We had just finished our shift at the Chagall Cafe, and this is where we gained some charm and some courage. That was the charm side of it. Here comes the courage. Neither one was quite enough to rank us up yet, but we're getting closer every time we do something. And yeah, with that, we headed back to the dorm. And now, just like the real calendar, we have caught up to Tuesday, April 28th.
Good morning.
Good morning. Have you gotten acclimated to our school yet? I do feel like we have. We've tried to take it slowly on things. We walk through the halls. We don't just, fast travel where we're going. I try to make a point to talk to people if they've got something new to tell us. We've made connections to a variety of different organizations. There's the track team. We made, a friend in class, Kenji Tomochika. We joined the student council yesterday. So yeah, I would say we're getting acclimated to the school. We started 3 weeks ago. Today was our first school day. So it's hard to believe it's already been that long. But yes, I sure have gotten acclimated.
That's...
I see. Your ability to adapt to a new environment is impressive. By the way, if you ever need me for anything, most times you can find me in the lounge. However, I won't be present if there's business I must attend to. If I'm not at the dorm at night, then you'll have to put off any exploration for another day. I hope you understand. Yeah, I've said it before, I'll keep saying it. I like little things like that. Everybody here, they're not just a character. They have lives, they're people. If Mitsuru's busy with something else, she can't come with us to Tartarus. And if she can't come with us to Tartarus to oversee us, then it's too dangerous for us to go, so we have to find other things to do. It's not like everything's going to revolve around my schedule and my plan. I have to be part of the world, not the one that drives and dictates where it goes. And just like that, it was another quick school day, it looks like. Well, we've reached the afternoon already. Let's take it like we do. First off, I see we've got some mails. Let's check our messages. Some good reminders already. We got Miyamoto from the track team here. Track practice. You're coming today, right? You better. Something to consider. We've got Kenji with another message as well. Hey, you're free, right? Let's hang out. And then we've got an ad from Hagakure Ramen. It's good for your skin. We'll let you in on a secret. Our ramen is really good for your skin. The collagen that our dishes contain is sure to make you stunning. Our tender pork is a friend of beautiful skin. Make yourself shine by eating at Hagakure. So even just seeing those, that's a good handful of options right off the bat. I also like to compare with the rest of the world and see what they do. I'm not necessarily using it to dictate my choice, but I like to see what other people have chosen as well. Looks like Hagakure's advertisement didn't hit too close with a lot of people, since only 2% of people seem to go that way. So yeah, it looks like most everybody else, focused on social links, whether it was with the old couple at the bookstore, Miyamoto of the track team, or Tomochika. And I have come in today not really having that specific plan. I don't see a downside to any of those social links. I want to check my social links because I don't know if I actually have the same persona for the old couple with Bunkichi and Mitsuo there, the Hierophant. And it's just kind of to our advantage to have the right persona with us to get that little bit of extra connection to the people. We do have Chariot for the track team. Magician would be Kenji. Strength is Yuko. So yes, we don't have one that would correspond to the old couple just yet. We could stop by the Velvet Room and pick one up out of the compendium, potentially. Maybe in our wandering after school, we'll look at that and just price it out if nothing else. Yeah, so let's not commit right away. Let's take a bit of a stroll, see the sights, and talk it out as we go. see a couple people down there we haven't talked to yet. This is that Mitsuru super fan. I heard you were invited to the student council. Kirijo Senpai said so. I'm so jealous of you. I wish I could get invited. You think I should talk to her or something? That's one of those challenging things too, right? I mean, you put these people on a pedestal and you feel like you know them, and I don't know, maybe interacting with them would change that dynamic or shift that perception you have of them or them of you. And maybe some people reason that it's better to be that longing fan and keep that wonder and not learn the truth, as opposed to risk taking that risk, seeing what the truth is. I don't know, bit of a tangent, I guess. But try to cross the hall here. This is Chihiro Fushimi, I'd mentioned in the introduction, in our recap of yesterday. She is the treasurer for the student council. I didn't see anybody spending time with her, but I see that social link card. And we haven't talked to her except for the initial meeting at the student council. Well, let's just say hi. Oh, Shima-san. What do you want? Technically, I didn't really want anything, but I did want to say hi, so, I did want to talk. It's nothing, earth-shattering. I wanted to say hi. I don't have anything to talk about. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I can relate. I would feel blindsided potentially too if someone just snuck up on me like that. I feel a little guilty. I don't think she necessarily appreciated us talking to her like that, but I also don't want to be that unapproachable person that doesn't try to reach out and make some connection. I want to respect whatever boundaries she feels like she wants, but I don't want to take that to mean stop trying, I guess, if that makes any sense. And here's Odagiri, the other side of things. Hidetoshi Odagiri.
Hey there.
Shima-kun. There's no meeting today. My day just doesn't feel right without one. Don't you agree? From what little we've encountered with him so far, he seems like a very straight-laced, by-the-book kind of student. So I could totally pick up that vibe of student council is his life. Just kind of peer down the halls here. And I don't see anybody else that's not been talked to before. We'll just keep on our way out of the building here for the moment. And like I started liking to do, let's start down at Port Island Station. Let's see what movie they're showing today. At the Screenshot Movie Theater, Smile at the Eiffel Tower is showing. 1,500 yen to attend. That would work on our charm. I don't think we're going to do that right now, but I like to see what's out there. Said before, I like fountains. Nice to see that one. Just the general activity and buzz around the place. This nice outdoor cafe. And I don't want to say the only reason we're here, but one of the main reasons is to stop by the outskirts here. And just say hello to the weak cat. We're going to have to give it a name one of these times. Mew. Nice to see it's still doing good. Hanging out with the guys here. We got Fierce Looking Delinquent, who does have something new to say. Apathy syndrome? Oh yeah, that bug that's going around these days. My buddy's dad has that thing. I don't know what to tell the poor son of a bitch. And we got Languid Delinquent. When you have that apathy thing, it's like you're too lazy to do anything, right? So what's the matter with them that they can't see a doctor? I mean, I ain't never been to med school, but it's got to be worth a try. I think he kind of answered his own question. Why don't they just go to the doctor? If this apathy syndrome seems to, in his perspective, to be making people lazy, then why are they going to want to take that step to go to the doctor? They would be just that much demotivated to not want to. But I also get that confusion. I mean, of not really knowing what's going on, and his dad's, suffering from this, and he doesn't know why he doesn't try to better his lot in that. So I can appreciate that side of it too. And they seemed a little less hostile to us than the first time we came in. So maybe by being that regular personality, they'll see us as less of a threat, I guess. Let's head over to, well, let's just work our way around, I guess. A nice crowded mall here. People still going about their daily routine. I always like to stop in and check on the residents of the Velvet Room, so we'll do that while we're here.
Marvelous.
And we made another connection. That's right, with the student council. I can sense that the power growing within you stems from the bonds you have forged and nurtured since. Here, it may not be much, but this is my gift to you. Please accept it. Another Twilight fragment.
Looking forward to it.
I still cannot foresee the limits of your potential. I look forward to witnessing you grow even further.
How may I assist you?
So I just wanted to say hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Igor. I hope Tuesday the 28th is treating you well, and I continue to thank you for the support. I was just about to leave, but we'd also talked about checking out the compendium while we're here. I almost just walked out the door. Let's look at summoning.
Take a look.
Because we wanted to see what it would cost to get the corresponding persona for the elderly couple, which we do not have. There's a chance I could fuse one.
What kind of persona do you desire?
Let's circle back and let's price out Jack Frost again, because it's gonna take Jack Frost to make Omo Ikane here, and I just want to keep Jack Frost around or some magician to help when we decide to spend time with Kenji.
This is your progress so far.
3,300 yen. That's not terrible. We've got 16,000 yen. Kind of also puts it into perspective. We worked that whole part-time shift for 2,500 yen.
I too. Please choose the personas.
I do. I think I'm going to make that
Shall we take a look?
Omo Ikane Hierophant. That's just going to give us one more option to spend time with Bunkichi and Mitsuo.
Is this acceptable?
And also, like I like to do, let's check the background. A deity of knowledge in Japanese myth. He conceived the plan to draw Amaterasu from the Amato Iwato, the cave she was hiding in. And it's got a couple good skills. Zio for that electrical, lightning attack damage, and Dia for healing. You can never really go wrong with either of those.
Please choose what skills to inherit.
Well, we've got two choices here. I'm going to pick Bufu to just give us that much more...
It seems you have been blessed with some power.
That much more elemental coverage in combat. And since we have level 1 of the social link, we'll get a little bit of power from that. So yes, let's summon Omo Ikane.
Well, well, well.
My name is Omo Ikane. Birthed from thine heart, to walk at thy side, 'twas I. Now my wisdom shall be thine to use. Our social link has blessed it with more power. It gets it a new level, some stats, the skill Rebellion. And just like that, that's another new persona.
Are you finished?
So it was just as nice to see both of them as I'd said it was before. Nice to have another new persona. I think that'll wrap up our time in the Velvet Room.
To your next visit.
I guess we've been social. Let's do the same thing and check in on Officer Kurosawa.
You made it.
I basically just want to say hi to him, so hopefully he doesn't feel like we're just, teasing him at his, backroom, police station store here, since we're not here to buy anything, but also just kind of want to be that respectful student and show that I'm, keeping my nose clean, I guess. So, good to see you, Officer Kurosawa. I'll keep up the good work and I'll keep out of trouble.
All done here?
All done.
Be seeing you.
that takes care of our time in Polonia Mall here. Let's just keep the rounds going, head over to the shrine, see if it's still just as quiet and peaceful as it's been. Looks like it is on first impression. Haven't seen anybody playing in this nice playground yet, but it's cool to see it here. Nice big sandbox. Always just kind of nice to get away from that hustle and bustle and be around the green spaces, the nature. I mean, I've talked about at school liking that courtyard and, the nice big tree here and just the sky and getting out and seeing it, especially in, the late April season. It's hard to ask for a nicer time of year in terms of weather typically. It's not raining on us. We've got clear skies. Got to enjoy them while we can. We'll stop by the strip mall here and consider. We do have the option to meet up with a couple at the bookstore here. We'll think about that. We've got a leisurely businessman. I love the outdoors. Breathing in fresh air, walking on foot, it's healthy. You can even get a bite to eat at the cafe or the burger place. Yep, I love being outdoors. Even if it means skipping work. I was right with him there until I heard about the part about skipping work. I mean, not that it wouldn't be, tempting some days, but kind of like we decided as our character. We made a commitment, you gotta abide by that commitment. I feel like it's been a while since we've been here during the day, but I've said the mascot, I like the mascot, but I like the kids, watching the mascot there too and being enthralled with it. Little details that they can say so much without using any in-game dialogue. Spiral back down the stairs here. Also across the street, since it's been a while since we've headed this way in the daylight hours. It's always been nighttime when we've come this way. Well, not always, but increasingly it had been. Well, it's nice to see this illuminated a bit. Still not a lot going on that needs our attention, but nice to know it's there. Try to stay out of everybody's way as I'm running down the sidewalk here. Well, we've been everywhere else. Let's stop in front of the dorm and just see if there's anybody there. We're not headed back yet, but we're getting our steps in for the day. And let's just, get out of everybody's way here and actually think about our day. I think we've seen all the different choices for our afternoon, so let's pick one. Haven't really done a whole lot in our menu too. I mean, you've seen it as I've scrolled through, but I guess I haven't really gone through a whole lot per se. So obviously, I could use the skills from my persona. A whole one skill right now. This is where our items, equipment. You've seen the list of personas. Our stats, I pulled those up occasionally to check on mostly my social stats instead of my combat stats. We're still working on all those. And I can check other party members as well. Here's Yukari, Junpei. Standard stuff. No quests yet, so that just doesn't do anything yet. Social links was the main thing I was in here for, so I guess we'll end up there. Calendar, that's another thing I hadn't talked about yet, but it's nice to just have this little pocket calendar at any time to see what's happened in the past and what's happening going forward. You can see today's 4/28. It says there's nothing in particular going on. We could work at Chagall Cafe, it appears. It looks like the evening. The moon side of that is highlighted there. Whereas screenshot, neither the sun nor the moon are highlighted, so we can't work there. But it just kind of helped keep things straight. Like I think on Sunday, you could see that the sun is illuminated for screenshot there, so we could have worked during the day back on Sunday. Oh, and I was looking at tomorrow's red. Tomorrow looks like it's going to be a day off then, so we've got Showa Day. That'll be something to know is coming up tomorrow. So so that's the calendar. But social links, that's where I wanted to kind of stop in and just check our current levels on everything. So as far as things we could do today, we could spend time with Kenji, who we're currently at rank 1 with. No student council meeting today, so nothing there. We could check in with the old couple. We could work with the track team. And I didn't see Yuko. Well, there are cases to be made for everybody, really. You could say that it would be helpful to keep everybody kind of balanced and work the skills up, one at a time, potentially. So if I'm, needing to make a persona of the Magician Arcana, and I get that up to rank 4, like everything else. If I was at that point, then I'd have a competence persona. But you could also take the other approach, and if I focused solely on the chariot, I could get that to rank 9, even if everything else rank 1, and then I could make a really good chariot persona. It's kind of the approach choice we want to have to make here. And just because we spend time with a social link doesn't mean it's going to advance either. There are times where it's going to take a few sessions of hanging out before we actually grow closer, as of course it would in any relationship idea. It seems like Kenji, I don't want to say he doesn't have a whole lot going on, but he seems to be available quite frequently. The old couple said their only day being closed is Monday, so they've got a lot of potential. And the track team, I thought it'd tell us the schedule in here, but I believe there were only a couple days a week where we can meet with the track team. And we did skip practice yesterday to meet up with the student council for the first time, so my focus is kind of being drawn towards the track team right now. I believe I've got a chariot with me. Yes, I do. The Chimera there. You know what we forgot to do? What I forgot to do? I don't see a magician. I don't see Jack Frost here. So, let's double back. 2 visits in 1 day for Elizabeth and Igor. This also kind of fits in with that, preparing ahead. I know we can get into the Velvet Room now, and I don't know what our next block of time is going to look like, so I don't want to put off till tomorrow what I could do today, essentially. So we're going to reacquire Jack Frost from the compendium here.
This is your progress so far. Please take a look.
Just the same as the one we registered, of course. That's the point of it.
So you'll be summoning this one?
Yes, I will.
May it be your inner strength. Are you finished?
Now we can head back out.
We look forward to your next visit.
Thank you, as always, for the help. All right, so our wallet's a little bit lighter, but we're a bit more prepared with our personas now. Every one of these applies to a social link that we've got a connection with. Except we still lack the Emperor, but I did not see one of those that we could summon or make yet. And it's not a huge concern for today anyway, since there's no student council meeting. But I was, before I got distracted on what I'd forgotten, thinking about the track team. So I'm still thinking that. So let's go to school and go to practice like a responsible athlete. I've said it before too, but I just kind of like the fact that everybody's got their own thing going on after school here. There's groups talking, there's students going from place to place, with whatever they're working on. And they've got that life. And we're doing the same thing. We're headed off to practice here. Things are still looking good out here. The persimmon tree is looking healthy. A nice little break to enjoy there as we head off to practice. Nothing really going on in the halls here, so practice it is. Yep, since we've got Chimera with us, that just is going to help us that much more in our interactions. Let's spend some time with the track team.
All right, one more time. I'll show you what I'm made of.
He seems just as motivated as last time.
Huh? Damn it! Seriously?
Well, this wasn't isolated then. I don't know if anybody remembers. Last time, a couple days ago, we were in practice, and at the end of practice, his leg was kind of bothering him. It looks worse now. Well, much worse.
Miyamoto!
Cause!
Anemia? Come on, we're counting on you to be captain next year.
Yeah, I like the motivation and the drive, but there's also that instantly throwing pressure on him on something that doesn't look like... I mean, this obviously wasn't his choice. So to say, oh, come on, get your act together and stop having a medical issue, that... No.
The big meet's next year, so you've got time. Just don't overdo it.
I mean, that's closer to talk about work on recovery, but still like get better because of your responsibility still seems like the priorities are backwards to me.
Hey, you. Why don't you leave practice early and take him home?
I could do that.
Sorry. What are you looking at? I'm fine. It's just, my anemia's acting up.
He does seem like that proud type of person too, that I don't want to belittle him and make light of what he's going through, but I also don't want to feed into it overly much and potentially make something worse. So it'd be interesting to see where he takes things and what responses it gives me. He just says it's his anemia acting up. I'm no doctor. I mean, I'm no mathematician, as opposed, yesterday's class proved, but I don't really know all the signs for what to be looking for here. Doesn't sound like he's necessarily telling us the truth. He seemed to kind of think about, it's my anemia sort of thing, rather than just straight up saying, oh yeah, it's my anemia acting up. So there's a part of my head that doubts it a little bit, I guess. Not that there's anything necessarily fair about that, but I mean, I do want him to be okay. I also don't want to make a big deal about something that I have my doubts on, because I feel like that would just come across as I'm humoring him. Especially just the way the sentence is written here. It almost reads in my head as sarcastic. It's like, oh, sorry, that sounds awful. And, then I'm overly leaning into what might or might not be the truth, and then that just kind of forces him to have to respond in kind, I guess, if that makes any sense. So the biggest thing, I guess, is we do wonder, and I do care and hope that he's going to be okay. So let's ask him, are you going to be okay?
Of course. It's just, a touch of anemia.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Whatever it is, I do want him to be better. So that's kind of the angle I was hoping he would take things here.
God damn it. I can't do it. I can't lie to you. Look. Truth is, it's my knee. It hasn't felt right ever since that day you first came to practice.
Yep, that sounds a lot less forced than his talk about anemia.
I tried medicine, I tried wrapping it, but the pain won't stop.
It sounds like he's tried the approaches that don't involve other people so far. And I guess that fits into that proud personality type as well. Plus the expectations that everyone has. It's not like he can, go to the team advisor or to a doctor and say, here's what's going on, because they'll probably just say, okay, you need to stop, you need to rest, you need to recover. We just saw that he's got all this pressure already from, the second years that want him to be captain next year, and the third years that have high hopes for him going forward. So he's dealing with a lot, it sounds like. So involving other people might not be the most responsible, but I can see why the choice was made. And I'm just as torn here. I mean, there is that part of me that wants to tell him to take a break from practice, but that, from what we've encountered, interacted with Miyamoto so far, that seems like the worst thing to tell him because he's so motivated, even if it might be what is for the long-term best. But asking him, will it heal? I mean, I'm no doctor. I don't think Kaz is a doctor here, so I don't know that he really knows. I mean, he said that he's tried everything and it hasn't helped, so will it heal doesn't really... He doesn't know. If anything, I feel like that might feed into more of his fears because he's obviously afraid of something getting worse. And I don't want to contribute to that and ask him, oh, are you going to be okay? Will this get better? It's like, I don't know, man. I hope it does. I'm going to try, I guess... I think I want to be that voice of reason, even if he pushes back on it, because I do honestly think a lot of injuries like this, rest and recovery is one of the most important things. Even if he doesn't want to hear it from us, if he does hear it from us, it might, still get that idea planted in his head. So I'm going to say, take a break from practice.
No can do. And there's no way you're going to make me.
I wouldn't make him.
Next year, there's a national competition. Athletes from all over Japan will be there. The regionals don't hold a candle in comparison.
I get that. But there's also the other side. I mean, you need to be there for that. If you take a couple weeks, a couple months to recover now, I mean, the regionals aren't, or the big competition's not until next year. You don't want something to get worse, something that could be healed in 2 weeks, could turn into something that's a lifelong injury if it's left not properly treated or diagnosed. So I'm going to stick to my guns on that one. I don't think I was wrong in saying a break might be in order.
And if I want to win, then I have to spend the next year training.
Exactly. And you can't be training if the injury gets worse. That's my reasoning.
A lot of guys on the team are nosy as hell. They find out about my knee, they won't leave me alone.
And there it circles back to that pressure I said he was facing from everybody else. And that's the hard part, too, of being in a role like that, because he has all those expectations on him. But there's also the other side where how much of those are expectations that you're interpreting other people putting on you? I mean, does he think that, people will lose respect for him if he, says he's dealing with this because they actually feel that way, or because he thinks that's how they feel about it?
So please keep it a secret, okay? We gotta look out for each other.
I don't like necessarily being an accessory to this, but I want to respect his wishes as well. He's counting on me. So I want to be that friend. I'll be there for him as much as I can, and I will keep weighing what being a good friend means as we go forward from here. If it looks like it's getting better, then we can keep his secret. But if it starts to get worse, I think it would be better for the friendship if I helped him out by telling someone rather than letting it get worse and watching him do this to himself. I'll keep the secret for now. And we did get that much closer as we came to that understanding, I suppose. Well, that's another rank with the track team. That takes us up to rank 3 of the chariot.
If I go easy on it, I can make it home by myself.
Or we could go together.
Don't worry about me. You get on back to training.
After saying I want to be there for him and being told to go back to training, and he'll get home by himself. I don't know. I wish it gave me that option to help him out. I mean, whether he wants it or not. This was not the track practice I thought it was going to be. Not bad. I mean, not ideal, certainly, with, Minamoto dealing with potential injury, but...
Welcome back.
But with that, we made it back to the dorm in the evening here. Got Mitsuru right at the door here. And by the way, the internet line, which was ripped apart by the shadow earlier this month, will be fixed tomorrow. If you have a computer in your room, you should be able to connect. So that takes care of everything that was damaged.
No.
Except, of course, Akihiko's ribcage. Yeah, we can't really fix that one so easily. Oh. Speaking of the internet, you play any online games, dude? I like online games. Definitely.
No.
Nice. I got just the thing then. Here, you gotta check this one out. It's called Innocent Sin Online. I used to be totally addicted to it, but I got kind of burned out. Maybe you'll get a kick out of it. You obtained an online game. Thank you, Junpei. Let's update our save. We've got everybody to talk to, even the chairman's here. Nice to see him again. First things first, let's get this shoulder bag off and get that dropped off in our room. We'll check our messages. We've got a couple here. We've got Mandragora. Want to let it all out? Let all your stress out by singing at the top of your lungs. How about some karaoke tonight? We hope to see you. A word from the manager. We're seeing a lot of solo customers lately. If you've got what it takes to perform on your own, then come on down. That's how we spent, what was it, Saturday? It was a good time. Might have been Sunday. Whichever day it was, I enjoyed it. And Chagall's also looking for workers again, it looks like. Chagall is very busy today, and we could use all the help we can get. Students may apply, no experience required. Those who work today will receive a bonus on top of the normal paycheck. We look forward to meeting you. I'm going to keep that in mind. That was a good, use of our time yesterday, I think. But once again, I don't want to hard commit to that. Let's also take a brief look at what everyone else decided to do with their time. A small 1% went back to Tartarus again tonight. We're still at the same average level with everyone else. So I don't see us needing to go back. We're not behind right now. So there was the remaining group that did everything else over there. A lot of good choices. I think we've actually seen a lot of those now that we've gotten to this point in the game. I guess as we look at those, let's first head downstairs and talk to everybody. Just catch up with the rest of the dorm residents. Been a long day, too. I can feel my mind starting to wander as I wash my hands. I don't think there's anything in particular that needs my attention right now. Let's start on this side. We usually start over by the couch and work our way over, but Junpei's got another good instant meal, it looks like.
Oh, yeah!
I hear lots of gamers love Innocent Sin online. Well, since tomorrow's a holiday, you should play it, dude. That's right, it was show a day, our calendar noted. We noticed that. And Yukari here.
Oh yeah!
I'm so glad we can start using the internet again. I've been meaning to check out the new summer clothes that are coming out now. I guess I could look at magazines, but it's quicker to just check online. Plus, it's free. I also kind of like that thought, too. I mean, that really puts the time capsule vibe on this world, and that, if we were doing this today, it would be so easy, like, a magazine, print media? Do they still make that? I've got a phone. Everybody's got a phone. Why don't we just check that way? The internet's just everywhere. So the fact that it wasn't back then is just kind of... I can remember that. I mean, I'm sure most of you can as well, but as time keeps going forward, it's going to set this more and more in a unique place in history. Let's see what's on TV again tonight. Many of you are eagerly anticipating tomorrow. Due to the Golden Week holiday, the highways are expected to be jammed bumper to bumper. Traffic conditions are expected to worsen from tomorrow until May 3rd. Officials expect the roads to be cleared by May 4th. From all of us at Action News, have a happy Golden Week. Nice to be coming into some holidays. Akihiko, ever dedicated to his craft here.
Oh?
Tons of people all playing the same game together. And it's online, right? I imagine that makes it even harder to know who you're playing. I guess not knowing your enemies makes it easier in some respects.
I think.
As for me, I prefer to look my opponent straight in the face before we compete. That really feels like Akihiko. I like it. Jeremy Nakutski.
Hello.
How are your explorations of Tartarus proceeding? I would say they're really good. I mean, we made it to that border floor already. Really good.
Fantastic.
Excellent. Then continue the good work. Nice to have him as our advisor there, still keeping tabs on us. We've got Mitsuru over here. Is something the matter? Just wanted to chat. Online games? Well, some casual recreation is fine, but try not to get carried away. If it should devolve into an unhealthy obsession, need I say the rest? I like that, that concern, I guess, the direction of, you can do that, but don't let it become a problem. You know it, I know it. It doesn't need to be said, but just know that that we all know, basically. So, act responsibly. Act responsibly. Nothing more needs to be said there. Well, nice talking to everybody at the dorm here. Let's head back out again. Kind of been doing that a lot recently, but without the need to go to Tartarus, that really does just open things up for us. Still kind of looking at working on some courage. Working at the cafe seems like it's got some potential in my head because we spent some money today. It'd be nice to recoup some of that. The fact that we can work on both courage and our charm there is just kind of a 2-for-1. See if they've still got mystery burgers going on at Wild Duck. Doesn't look too crowded, but not right now. This Hakakuri Ramen's been crowded for a while. Not tonight, though. That was the one that helped with our charm. Yes, they're collagen-rich foods. This is members only. Speaking of, if we have internet access, perhaps the Net Cafe could offer us something. I guess I don't have direct computer access yet, so still nothing from that shop. Yeah, like it's been. There's not a lot to see on this side of the street, but I just want to keep checking in and seeing. Don't want to miss something, whether it's small or not. Got the takoyaki place over here. Closed at this hour, obviously. We'll make it over to the Polonia Mall. We're looking to nip over at the coffee place, most likely. Let's start at the other side of things and pop by the arcade, see what games are going today. Game Parade. We played House of the Deceased one of the nights, sometime last week. That worked on our courage. Cost of 3,000 yen is not huge, but it's also not insignificant. We got the music store. This is where Kenji and I spent Sunday. The CD shop. A variety of music. Talk to the pharmacist real quick here. We saw everybody else earlier. He's still proud of his shop and the unique points that he offers that no one else has. I like those reminders of new inventory and sales. It just keeps that idea fresh in my head. Nothing new yet.
Done already?
Yeah, that was kind of a quick perusal, but
Thanks.
I chatted with him and looked at his stuff but didn't buy anything, and he still thanked me. He's a professional. Mandragora up there, we could sing. We already said hi to Officer Kurosawa. We already checked in with the Velvet Room, so they should be all good there. Police bulletin board still seems to be the same traffic reminders and crime alerts. Always good when there's nothing new going on there. Still can't get into Club Escapade. So, I think we've seen all the world has to offer since we're not going to Tartarus tonight. I think Chagall is probably the best use of my time, considering it's going to pay us a wage. It's going to also help with our charm and our courage. It's going to do a lot of good things for us for the same reasons it did last night. And there's, again, that narrative side of things, too, and working for what I've got. I mean, I'm not just, finding the loot in Tartarus or being given to it by the chairman, like when we, first stopped at the police station there. We're actually earning this. It crossed my mind when we were repurchasing Jack Frost that was, close to 4,000 yen. I mean, that's, more than a night's work at Chagall. So it puts the value of money, I guess, in perspective as we keep earning it ourselves, which is a good life lesson for anybody to know. We will save it here. Makes that much easier to load in tomorrow. And let's get to work at Chagall Cafe. We're going to cheerfully serve coffee while also getting a free dose of their pheromone coffee to work on our charm and our courage. Work part-time. Wow, busy today. They did say it was extra busy. It's pretty crowded today. I have to work more efficiently than usual. That was always kind of something, overwhelming at times on busy days, but there was also that challenge of knowing how to be more efficient with things, to step up to the challenge and overcome it, not make it hard for everybody. It's easy to look back on some of those busy days and think that they were more fun, I guess, than they were in the moment, but I can think of, days in my own work life, I'm sure we all can, some recent, some not so recent, where it seemed overwhelming at the time, but looking back, it was that challenge to overcome, and it was nice to get by those successfully and feel like good choices were made and success was had. So back to the game here. The customers are ordering a lot today. The cafe is filled with pheromones. I mustered up my courage and helped arguing customers resolve their issues. I gave you a little bonus on top of your usual pay. Thanks for helping out during peak time. Nice. And dealing with those customers helped my charm and my courage. I love to see it. So, I made progress in both charm and courage. I can still say that, we're still at the base levels. I'm still a plain timid slacker. But one of these days, I'm going to be able to say something else, and I'm looking forward to that. And the fact that we're, working there, day by day, choice by choice, makes it feel more like that journey of actually growing rather than just, gaining a level somewhere. So we'll keep working at that. It's getting late. I should head back to the dorm. All right. That wraps up Tuesday the 28th. Let's head back to the basement and talk about it. Okay, so here we are. I feel like that was another good day. Tuesday the 28th. It was another one that felt a little shorter, maybe. That's going to happen from time to time, but we also filled it with a lot of little things, I guess, and it's the little things that make life. We started the day at school, as we do. The school day itself seemed fairly inconsequential, or at least it went by pretty quickly. I'm sure, as a student being, in the classroom, it was still a full school day. And all the challenges and, fun that go alongside that were experienced. And part of that is left up to us to interpret as well. Like, yeah, for us it was, 2 taps of a button to get through the school day, but for our character and for everyone else there, it was a very full, busy day. And after school, the world was still open to us. We had a lot of choices of things to do and places to see and experience. I didn't really have a set game plan, so as I've been doing, I took a bit of a stroll around as we talked about it and saw the sights. It's always kind of nice to just work into that routine of going in and checking on the cat, or stopping and saying hi to Elizabeth and Igor or Officer Kurosawa. None of these things that really necessarily need to be happening, but things that just make it feel like we've got more of a purpose than just going from one stat-boosting activity to the next, or one level, place, or, we don't have to be anywhere. We're making this more of a journey than a connection of dots. Seeing the various places to go and people to talk to, kind of tried to build up our persona repertoire a little bit. We stopped in and we fused that new Hierophant, Omo Ikane, just on the off chance that we decide to spend time with the elderly couple in the near future, because it's, beneficial to us to have the corresponding persona in our inventory. So we're prepared for that now. And I'd forgotten at the time we got to double back and resummon Jack Frost, just so that we're also prepared for the Magician Arcana. In so doing, we kind of got to consider the value of the money that we've got. I don't feel like we're, hurting for money right now, but every time I spend, 4,000 yen, and I've only got 16,000 yen, I do notice that, we are right on the edge of needing more money. But on the after-school side of things, before we keep talking about, the other parts of it, we decided to head back to school and spend some time with the track team. I'd reasoned that a lot of the other people that we had the opportunity to spend the time with today, they seem to be more openly available throughout the week, and there's only 3 or 4 days a week of track practices, so I feel like taking those while we can get them is to our benefit. And it seemed like, track practice was starting out okay, or continuing okay, until Kazushi, until Miyamoto there, collapsed and his knee was really bothering him. Obviously very, very concerning to everyone involved. He claimed it was anemia. So, we helped him to, whatever room that was, doesn't really matter, but we helped him off the track to try to, get him somewhere to recover. And that's where we heard of all the pressure and expectations that all the other students seem to have for him. He's a good, strong athlete. He seems to be the candidate to be the next captain next year. So there's the pressure on, being good enough for that. And we also heard about an upcoming competition that is bigger than all the regionals, and it's like an all-Japan competition that he wants to participate in. So everyone else went back to class, and I hung around to make sure he was okay, and to try to, get him where he needed to be. And, that was where he did reveal that it wasn't just anemia that was bugging him, that it has been his leg, which we kind of knew since last week in practice when he was having, some leg trouble. And he wants us to keep it a secret. And I was torn on that because I want to respect his wishes, and he knows his body better than I do, obviously. But at the same time, injuries like this, they can get worse, obviously, and I don't want that. He doesn't want that. He's talking about this big competition next year that he needs to train for. He needs to train every day, is his logic, because he wants to get ready and do his best there. And so I tried to kind of tell him, that by taking a day off and taking that time to recover, that might be a form of training almost. But he didn't want to hear that. And I don't blame him. I mean, he knows what he wants, and he knows what he thinks he's lacking, and he wants to get better. And he sees the way to do that is by going to practice. So to hear someone say, oh, don't worry about practice, that might come across kind of insensitive and insulting, which wasn't my intent, but it could be taken that way depending on how you look at it. But, that rounded out to him wanting me to keep his secret because he wants to get better. I mean, he's been trying his own, things, medicine and, bandages and braces that haven't been helping, which is concerning, obviously. But for now, I'm going to respect those wishes. Even though I've got my doubts, I want to be a good friend to him. And if it comes to making a choice later, I will weigh those choices because, like we talked about in the moment, being a good friend sometimes means helping the friend in a way that they don't necessarily see as help right now. Hopefully it doesn't necessarily have to come to that, but it got me thinking about the choices we're making and, just how we can help him out. So with a different track practice behind us, we headed back to the dorm. We got there, we did what we do. We dropped our bag off in the room before deciding how to spend our evening. We talked a little bit with everyone down in the dorm lobby. They were all still going about their business. Mitsuru informed us that the internet will be back tomorrow. That had been damaged a couple weeks ago when that shadow attacked. Think of now being without the internet for 2.5 weeks or whatever it's been. To me, that sounds quite rough. But maybe my focuses aren't right. Either way, though, internet's back tomorrow at the dorm, so that'll be good for everybody. Yukari was excited because she can look up some information on the internet instead of having to go buy a fashion magazine. Which, in the time, I kind of, thought of how cool that was to kind of, relate that to the world. I mean, I've got the calendar screen pulled up in front of me from the game still. It's, 2009 was, the year that the game is set in right now. So you compare that to, 2026 here. That was a while ago. And just the difference in things, from then until now. But basically, sounds like everybody's doing good. Junpei gave us a new online game that we can enjoy, which I'm excited to try. New games are always fun, so that could be one more distraction to look into. Another fun way to spend some time. But for the night, we headed back out and we did our usual rounds, through the mall. Saw who was where and what was going on. Nothing earth-shattering, nothing out of the norm, but another good night to be out. Another spring night to take a stroll before ending up somewhere. And for the same reason as yesterday, we had a text from Chagall saying that they were extra busy today at the cafe, and they were looking for some extra help, and were even paying a little bit more today. And it was nice to get the bonus to our charm and our courage yesterday. That same logic held true today. And the fact that they were paying us instead of, having us pay for an activity. That circles back into how I was looking at, our current yen balance and what we were spending stuff on. I mean, resummoning Jack Frost was a decent chunk of money. So doing something in the evening that actually earned us money seemed like the responsible thing to do. And from a student in high school sort of thing, like I said at the start, there's that freedom that comes with that part-time money that you earned for yourself, by virtue of your own work. You're not relying on someone else for that. This is money that is yours because you worked for it. And that's a good lesson to learn and to know and to tie that value of money and into time. It's like, I worked for 3 hours at this part-time job and this is what I made. Do I want to spend all this on this one thing? It just puts the value of money back into more reasonable perspective. Not necessarily something that applies to the game per se, but I want to add a bit more in and around the game to flesh out the world just that much more. So, like yesterday, we spent our time working part-time in the evening. We got compensated nicely for it. We got the coffee, which raised our charm and our courage. We got the yen, which was a little bit of a bonus because it was extra busy today, which you love to see. And with that, we made our way back to the dorm. That wrapped up our time on Tuesday the 28th. And it was an eventful day. I mean, when I first, got to the end of the stream here and like, what did we do today? Did we do that much? But as I've talked it out, it's like, yeah, we did do a lot. It does feel like we spent a full day doing things. And that's kind of what I like about this series. That's what's been so much fun. It hasn't just been trying to go just to the next place. I want to get out and see the things around it and actually spend the time in it because we've got the time to do it. That's one of the perks of doing it on a daily session like this. I mean, if I were playing the game for an hour by myself, I would probably, pass through a bunch of days because I've only got an hour or so. But when I'm doing just one day in this 1 hour, that gives me time to, take a breath and, take a few extra steps in game and, maybe stare at things a little closely and see little details I hadn't noticed before. And hopefully with you all coming along for the ride like that, you're enjoying seeing some of those same things I'm pointing out. But I guess on the Persona a Day side of things, that takes us to the end of today's content. I thank you all so much for being here for that. I have been Tom Shima. I am streaming every day at 12:30 Eastern Time on Twitch. If that doesn't work for your schedule, or if it's more interesting to watch another time, I upload all of these to YouTube the same day. So you've just got that option if that works better for your schedule. So I hope Tuesday, April 28th has been a fantastic day for you so far. If it's been good, I hope it stays good. If there have been challenges, I hope you can get past them with minimal effort and it gets you back to the fun times. And let's all make the best of today and come back together tomorrow to keep having more fun. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Take care. With that, we've reached the end of the day. Please look forward to next time to see where the game goes from here. This journey is being streamed live on my Twitch channel if you'd like to be there in person for the experience. Links and schedule details can be found in the description. I'll keep uploading each day's session to this channel so you can keep watching here. Once again, I'm Tom Shima. Thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you again as I continue the series, Persona a Day. What will tomorrow bring?